Well, hello everybody. We are doing a community stream today. It has been a long time since we've done one. I'm glad you're all here today. I am barely here today. I've had a lot to do this week and I'm still recovering from my big camping trip. But this is the 51st official Eunuch Corner Club Live. I have a couple of people that will be joining me, maybe even more if people in the community are going to jump in and have a chat. Very soon we will be talking about the U.S. Patriot Liberty Meetup with the white positive angle that happened just this past weekend at an undisclosed campground. It was a lot of fun. We'll be talking about that. This stream is actually starting about an hour earlier than I expected because Don the Pleb is having a stream that I want to watch at 2 o'clock Eastern. And that would have been right in the middle of the community stream I was going to do. So we're starting early because I want to go see that. Speaking of Don the Pleb, he is the reason that we had the community meetup on Friday. Him and the pleb community actually got me involved in a lot of America First, MAGA Patriot style activism about a year and a half, maybe about a year and 2 months ago. And from that emerged me wanting to actually facilitate people meeting up and unifying together against the problems we all face. It's been said by many people before me, being fractured and hiding in our own little holes everywhere is always a problem on the right or whatever. So I wanted to bring people together. And what better way to do that than getting them to come enjoy some good food, some good fellowship, shooting a bunch of guns, and doing fun kick-ass America stuff. So that's what we did last weekend, and we will be talking about that. Before we get rolling, however, I do need to restart OBS because I realized it just crapped the bed again. Been having some trouble with that lately. Don't know why, but hopefully it'll get sorted out. But in the meantime, now that it has successfully restarted, I will be sharing the people that help make all of this possible. And I got to start the virtual cam again. There it goes. There are a lot of people that support this channel monthly. Anti-Commie actually supports this channel monthly on Entropy, which is excellent. You can click the little tag over on the left-hand side of Entropy. But most people support this channel monthly by Subscribestar. You can see all their names right here. We have Liberty or Death, the most recent join. And this is what lets me plan events, make better content, etc., focus on streams. Because if I know that I have X amount of money coming in every month, that is why fewer number of odd jobs and driving old people around and picking up groceries I have to do just to make ends meet. So I would greatly appreciate anybody that loves this channel and loves the work I do supporting me monthly on Subscribestar, even if it's only $1 a month or $5 a month or whatever. Every little bit helps and I greatly appreciate it. So now we're going to toggle back to my regular camera. And there we go. We're going to go ahead and bring on somebody that some of you already know. His name is Nick. Nick, I see you in the green room. I see you smiling. That means you're ready to come on. Howdy, Nick. Thank you for being here today, my friend. How you getting along?
Doing all right? Well, yeah.
I sent out feelers to about a dozen people who like to be on my community streams. We will see who else wants to pop on today. I got a couple of people that said they will probably hop on for a little bit. So the first part of the day, I thought we would just talk about the trip itself, and I would like to thank Crown Target and others who donated large sums of money to put the event together. We brought in a few $100s to put it together, and I spent every dollar of that buying supplies, lots of food, fire starter logs, and a bunch of other stuff to make the camping trip happen. Hi, Kizza. Kizza says he'll be on today. Hold on just a second, and I will send you the invite link. I'll send it to you on Telegram because that's where you're the most active. So I'll go ahead and send that to you over there, Kizza. There we go. It is sent. All right. When it comes to the people that gave me money to support my efforts, when you got there, many people that visited dropped me some dollars in cash. I definitely appreciate that. But what we appreciate most is the people who share the stream, talk about patriotism, talk about localism, talk about getting involved, share out the streams, my streams, Don the Pleb, Nick here, DC Perspective, Prudentialist, everybody in America that cares about getting stuff done, America First, stopping anti-whiteism, getting these cronies out of office, all the stuff that is going to matter for us taking control of our country again. You are the people I appreciate the most. Share this stuff out. help get everybody connected and motivated. And that was pretty much the whole point of the meetup last weekend, was getting a bunch of folks together that were Americans who love America, that love the West, that love, freedom and guns and all that great stuff. We just came together to celebrate and build connectivity, and meeting up in person, getting face to face with others who care about the values that you espouse. That matters a lot. And that's what we all need to be doing. Getting together and connecting online is, of course, important. We should do that too. But build the interpersonal, real connections that you need with people where you live or in your country, because when push comes to shove, you're going to need those connections. And you also need in-person connections to trade, to build together, to safeguard communities, to build families and that kind of thing. So that's pretty much what it's all been about. Oh, I see we have Holly in the chat today. Good to see you, Holly. Holly will be on my stream in the near future talking about interesting Holly stuff you'll definitely want to be in for. Holly, do you want to come on the stream today and just shoot the shit with us back and forth? You're more than welcome to if you like. And yes, Holly says that anti-whiteism and the words anti-white are becoming mainstream. That they are. We're seeing more and more high-profile people talk about it every day, and I think that's important. I see Dollhuck here saying IRL stuff is cringe. Those of you that are in the server, I'm going to go ahead and post an invite link in the server for you guys who want to hop in. So let me put that in the Meetup channel. So those of you that are in the Appalachian Meetup channel, I'm going to put the join link to stream. And if you guys want to hop on and talk about how fun it was or call me a giant faggot, you're welcome to go ahead and do so. We'll go ahead and let some of you guys hop on and visit with us here. And I just got a warning that I had a critical flaw in my bandwidth. So if there are some of you that think that I cut out for a moment, okay. It says that it's fine now. It says that my network cut out, but it seems to be back. All right, we have Joshua Ham and Kizza with us. Hello, Josh. Hello, Kizza. How are you guys doing?
Josh is outside. How you all doing? I know it's been a while, years, but I've been super busy with work.
That's fine. I stay busy as it is.
Wonderful uncle.
I'm just here because I wasn't
busy.
busy.
Possible.
So,
literally, no joke. I mean, yes, you'll laugh at this. I was quite literally off the phone to my quote-unquote future wife.
Oh, okay, interesting. That's good. Wife is good. Having family is good. Josh, are you at work? Are you out having your daily constitutional? What are you up to?
No, I do that early in the morning when it's not raining. No, I'm out picking up supplies and stuff. We got about $500 in groceries the other day. We're picking up more canned goods today. Picking up some pallets so we can try to build a pig pen out of pallets.
Okay.
Getting ready for the super wonderful things that are coming.
Oh yeah, you said a pig pen out of old pallets.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
I like pigs.
Why not? America, anybody? Wink, wink. No, a certain type of pig is, not the other kind of pig.
What kind of pigs? We were talking about real pigs, having real pigs.
Oh, yeah, the other type of pigs we're talking about. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a cop. No,
hey, Josh got it. Josh got it. No. I wasn't to say you were, Josh. But I like the fact you knew what I was talking about. 10 points to you.
The community I grew up in was strongly anti-authoritarian. Especially because the community that I grew up in, I was one of 3 white people on the football team, which in Texas, football's a religion.
Yeah, I know, right?
I thought that was NASCAR and guns and steak.
No, American football is really big in Texas. It's really, really big down there.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Fair enough.
If you ever get the chance, watch.
I thought NASCAR took primacy.
No, not really.
No, not even close.
NASCAR is kind of like professional wrestling. It's kind of its own niche. It's like its own niche entertainment. Now, a lot of Americans love it, but
right.
I wouldn't say NASCAR is as ubiquitous in Texas or Tennessee as football. Football's pretty damn huge.
High school and college football.
That is NASCAR country.
Yeah, especially college football. It's really big here.
And so is in Indiana as well. Indiana's real big on racing and football. all the Rust Belt states are much more into NASCAR because cars was a part of their culture for so long. Whereas down here in the South, it was much more about sports.
NASCAR is really big in the South, though. Bass Guitarist just brought that up. That's true. NASCAR is pretty big around here.
It is.
Yeah.
Like, the place that we went this weekend.
It doesn't compete to high school football.
Yeah, the place that we went camping this past weekend, it's only like an hour drive from Bristol Motor Speedway, which is a really big attraction in this local area because they've got a big drag strip. They've got I think it's a quarter mile because it's a really fast NASCAR track. It's right on the border of Tennessee and Virginia at Bristol, and a lot of people a couple times a year flood in from all over, and it's really popular there.
It's most likely a short oval, which is, if I remember correctly, about a mile long, whereas a proper oval is like 2.5 miles long.
No, the Bristol Motor Speedway is not a mile. I'm pretty sure it's smaller than that because I've been there. I don't think it's a mile. I think it's either a quarter or a half. I think that's why they call it a speedway, because it's banked and it's small, and so they go real fast. I think that's why they call it that, but I don't know. But I don't know shit about racing or NASCAR. That ain't for me.
I mean, well, to be fair, yes, I live right in the middle of Motorsport Valley, so I mean, right in the middle of Motorsport Valley. So,
I could ask my wife. She's from Indiana, so of course her dad used to race non-professionally.
I mean, if I was going to go on the speedway, I'd love to go around Talladega because boy, you can go for some speed there. But
football is much more what we do around these parts.
Yeah.
It requires a lot less investment of capital to play football.
That is very true. That's very true. I mean, I actually studied in the motor racing industry. The bills do get ridiculous, especially when you start climbing the ladder. If you were going down
racing, much like horse racing, is an easy way to turn a lot of money into a little bit of money.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, as you're joking.
The only racing I know anything about is F1, and that's because back in like the mid to late aughts, I followed it for a couple years. But I found it interesting, but it's I got involved in more meaningful things, and I stopped caring about sports and racing and stuff.
Well, yes. What is quite ironic is for like the last 5 years, you actually had a proper American F1 team.
Did we?
Not even. Yeah. It was founded by Gene Haas, who's like a big name in American racing.
Oh, okay. I like I said, I know almost nothing about it. I just followed F1 for a couple years because I found the technology interesting. But I don't know. It's just
sadly they don't sound as good as they used to. Now they sound like fart can Hondas. You compared to the old days where you had a screaming banshee of V10s. I mean, that thing could literally wake the dead.
Well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna
the roar of thunder. It's not right.
I'm going to share some pictures of the camping trip, and we're going to talk about meetups and whatnot. But you go ahead and finish what you were talking about there first while I load my vape here.
Yeah. I mean, I was just also. It's funny you mention Yizz. I'm not sure if I said you this at the time, but back in August, I did my own little quote-unquote meetup with the likes of Scrump, Evelyn, British Knight, Mitch.
Oh yeah, I wish I could have gone to that. That sounded fun.
Yeah, it was a good old time, and I was jokingly nicknamed the Jew of the group because I had the most money. But I mean, everyone was quite surprised meeting me because they've never seen my face. So they were quite surprised to look at me, and also it was great because I was the tallest one there. So
yeah, you told me that you're tall. I remember that.
No, because ironic enough, Evelyn was the second tallest one there.
yeah, Evelyn's tall like me too. Isn't she like 5'10" or 5'11"?
I think I'm like 6'1", and she's definitely pushing 6 foot.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, then she might even be taller than me then. Let's see here.
It's really funny because we basically spent half the night just chatting away, talking about cars and talking about going deep dive into ancient Britain and how we are, quote unquote, the true chosen people.
Well, I'm going to share some pictures of the weekend for everybody here. This is a beautiful picture. This is a beautiful picture I took of the park that we went to. Here in eastern Tennessee, there are a lot of man-made lakes, and some of the man-made lakes, of course, sprung up around natural waterways. But Tennessee has hundreds, if not thousands, of massive man-made lakes for hydropower. And this was made by the I forget when this big project came about, but probably came after FDR's New Deal and all that. I would guess. And the
TVA.
I doubt.
TVA.
I doubt something that good would have come after that. I'm thinking like post World War II, something like that, because that's when a lot of your big hydroelectric.
Well, this ain't a history lesson, so shut up. All right.
Excuse me.
This is a park in the Smoky Mountains near here. It's near the border of Tennessee, Virginia, North Carolina. It's right in that little sweet spot area for the Smoky Mountains. And the campground here goes around one part of this massive lake. And you can walk many, many miles of hiking all around this part of the lake in the Cherokee National Forest. And this is where we had our Patriot Meetup, and it was a lot of fun. I didn't take pictures of the people there because almost everyone there except me and Don the Pleb likes to stay anonymous. So we didn't do pictures and video getting people on screen. But I wanted to take some pictures to document the event. And I took several pictures along lakeside that show what it looks like when the water's down, when they're generating. Because when they generate with the dam, the water drops by a foot or two, and you can see the where it does that. That's the sort of red-orange clay part there where the water goes down. But just a lot of really pretty pictures here. And let me cycle back through these and let everybody see them. I'll go back to the beginning here. There's the start. So let's walk it back a little bit. There's the next one. And then here, I like this one a lot because
is cutting out for anybody else.
What?
Okay.
Is Miss Yizz cutting out for anybody else, or is it just me?
It might just be you because you're mobile. I don't know, but lots of times when I stream with video and a lot of people, here, let me turn my cam off. That'll help. Lots of times when I stream, since I'm on Hillbilly Internet, I only have old-timey DSL that runs out here. That's the only internet I can get except expensive satellite internet out here. So sometimes I do drop a bit, and I apologize for that. But it's the best I can do with what I've got for right now. But anyway, let's see. Let me keep going here. These pictures basically show you how beautiful it is around here. This park is only about an hour from where I live, and there are.
I'm just the whole thing because we can make pasta with it.
Say again? I couldn't hear you, Josh. What?
No, sorry, that was me talking to my wife. I should have muted myself.
Oh, it's okay. I was just going to let you guys know that there are a lot of beautiful parks, and there's a lot of beautiful parks out here in Tennessee, and I happen to live near 3 of them. And I'm planning on doing a spring meetup sometime in the spring, maybe March or April, and it'll be at a different park, maybe Roan Mountain, maybe Bays Mountain. I don't know. But we have a lot of parks near here that I'd like to do a spring meetup at. Maybe have a big picnic, plan ahead, make a lot of food, invite some people over from the white well-being community, from the America First community. Just have a good old, right-wing American Patriot meetup and get people from different camps used to coming together and getting to know each other type of deal. So I thought that could be a lot of fun. So I wanted to show some pictures today of what these things look like. And then here's another one I showed a second ago. This is of the same coastline here, this big lake. And the only wildlife that I came close enough to take a picture of on the trip is this little snail here, this cute little snail guy. And I know that's pretty sad for wildlife. It's the only real piece of wildlife I could get close enough to document on the trip. But this little snail couldn't get away from me because it's too slow. So I caught him on a leaf and I took some pictures.
I mean that is a really tiny one.
Yeah, that's a really tiny one. They get a lot bigger than that, but that's a little one. That's a little guy.
Oh yeah. That's pretty tiny. But yes.
All right, just to let everybody know, if you would like to support the channel and my work, you can do so on Entropy. You can do so via Cash App and PayPal. You can find those links in the description of this video. And let me see if Odyssey is working. I don't know if any of you guys are watching on Odyssey right now. I'm supposed to be broadcasting there.
I think.
But the last times I refreshed Odyssey, it's just not working for me today. So I don't know if it's just down right now or what. But
it wasn't working for me either, so I assume it's down. It's
probably just down, which sucks. But oh well. If this stream doesn't broadcast to Odyssey, I'll upload the VOD there later. And Helig Shine, Heilig Shina or Shina. I don't know how to say that. It looks German to me, but or Dutch perhaps. I will definitely be having more meetups. I would like to do 2 a year. I definitely want to do a fall meetup for the Don the Pleb American Patriot gang. I definitely want to do a fall meetup for us where we go and shoot a bunch and just have a good old American time together every fall. And I'd also like to have a more a warmer one in the spring, maybe March or April, where after things start to warm up a bit, have people come out to a different park earlier in the year and do more of the same. So I'd like to host 2 meetups a year if I could, but we'll definitely. Heilig Shina, is that how you say it? He says I pronounced it perfectly, or she, could be a she. I don't know. I'm not familiar enough with the word to know if that's a male or female name.
Well, you pronounced it correctly.
Heilig Shina, I guess is how you would say it. I took 3 years of German. I just was never around anyone to speak German with, so it's really rusty since this was like 20 years ago. Wow, even longer ago than that now. Good Lord, that was a long time ago. Oh, it looks like we got Josh back with us. Josh, I didn't know you dropped. Welcome back, friend. All right, but anyway, let's move on to other pictures now. Now we just have pictures of the environment. The next 6 or 7 pics are just different pictures I took of particularly beautiful places where I was standing. And I walked all over the park for about 2 hours. I didn't go too far because the event, the first day we got rained on something fierce. So we didn't really do anything the first day. And then the second day was mostly shooting at the range. So the few hours I had to walk around and take pictures, I wanted to take us some good ones of where we were staying. And this one really reminded me of Dagobah from Star Wars because of how green it was. And I wanted to take a picture of it there.
Yeah, good old Endor.
It's quite nice. Let me embiggen this so you guys can see it better here. Let's there we go. That's much nice. Better. That's much better. Much easier to see now. So yeah, we don't have a lot of evergreen. It's mostly deciduous in this area, and I think that's just beautiful. And I just love this kind of woods here. All right, let's move on to the next one then. Okay. Come on now. There it goes. Here's a good one of the underbrush, because this is a place where the trees were thinner. So I got to show what the underbrush looks like out in the woods where there's no trail or anything.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
I like it. It's pretty cool. I'm told that this looks a lot like the woods in central and northern England. Can you confirm that, Kizza?
What's that, sorry?
I am told that the woods around here looks a lot like the rural woods in central and northern England. Do you know if it's true or not?
I mean, where the sort of places I go to with the puppy, yeah, you could easily say that. Yeah, I do like going to these areas because you just enjoy some peace. So, am I still coming through okay? Hello?
Yeah, I hear you just fine. I was answering somebody in chat. Heilig Shina said that he couldn't see the photos. They weren't changing, so I had to make sure that the photos were changing on my end. They are definitely changing on my end. I don't know if the stream is paused for you or whatever, but it looks like Josh was having connection problems, so he's dropped. Looks like he's back now. And there he is. He's back. Okay, no worry, Josh. It's okay. He sent a message that said he's not going to be able to be on with us because he's on mobile, but that's fine, Josh. You're welcome to come in and out whenever you like. This is a community stream, and for those that are in the community and all my community groups, I have posted the link if you want to hop in. Discord was also working funny for me, so I have it closed right now. But I sent the link out to those of you on Twitter and those of you in my Telegram community, so you guys should have that link if you want it. Those of you who messaged anyway. Alrighty. So anyway, We're going to move on to the next picture now. This one is of the roadway near the campsites. So where we were staying, where we had the tents and everything set up, this is actually what it looked like right where we were staying. Well, about 50 yards from where we were staying. It's a little bit away, but this is what the trees and the terrain looked like where we actually made camp, and it's quite nice. They've got sort of like golf cart paths on golf courses. They've got paved little roadways that go in between all the campsite clusters. So it's pretty easy to get your supplies and vehicles in and out of this area. It's just really, really remote. You have to drive like 10 or 15 miles further into the middle of nowhere from already the middle of nowhere just to get to this camp. So it's a nice, extremely rural area. And it's really fun here. I like it.
You went from in the middle of nowhere to super in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. But it's fun. It's fun. Oh, hey, AM. Yeah, AM is here. Says Meetup was lovely last weekend. It definitely was. It definitely was.
Yeah, I mean, I hope, was it us boys in England, we and girls, we can do another meetup sometime because it was great fun.
That would be nice. I'd like to see you guys. Here's some pretty trees with a lot of lichen. I think that's what those are called. Those little lichen patches. I think that's some kind of lichen. But this was just another pretty shot. And in the distance there, you can see the little paved roadway of the campground. But this is just like 10 or 20 yards off the main road in the camp, and I took this beautiful picture. And it just in the leaves were supposed to be changing, but they weren't changed much. I had hoped for a lot more reds, oranges, and yellows in the leaves, but they hadn't quite started to turn yet. So maybe in the future fall meetups, we might do a week or two later just to hopefully get a lot of bright fall colors at the fall meetup. It'll be a little colder, of course, but that's okay with me. I like it cold as it is. Let me go see what we got going on over on DLive. Okay, don't see anybody talking over on DLive yet. And good to see Sam Nope and BH Hayes, Death Specs, Big Nick, and all the usuals over on Entropy. Good to see you guys there. And it's nice to see the posse that we have here on YouTube. We got about 30 of us right now. So it says 25 watching. So that means there's probably 30 or more because a lot of people get ghosted in YouTube analytics, especially those of us that have flagged accounts for being naughty wrong thinkers.
Yep. Thanks for being able to detect detection. Thanks to my personal own lexicon.
This next picture here is closer to the lake. And you can see there's one of our rare evergreen trees. You can see it in the middle there. It's a little tree-like bush thing. I'm not a treeologist, so I can't name all these trees like some nature lovers can. Like I know the difference between a conifer and not a conifer, but that's about where my knowledge of tree stuff stops. But here's a picture of them. I'll let that linger on screen for a while so everybody can take a gander at it there. Oh, hey, Nope. Good to see you here, buddy. Nope was a lot of fun. He made us a kick-ass breakfast with some sausage. He cooked us up a sausage and vegetable breakfast. It was quite good. We had a good time. Diamond Dust says, just say fern. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know what specifically makes a fern. I know it's something in particular when it comes to treeology, but I wouldn't want to incorrectly say it, so I don't call anything a fern. The next picture here, let me get to it. Boop. There we go. This is of the first day before it came that massive rain on us. This is really close to the campsite where we were. I took a picture looking up at the tree canopy. So as you can see, the tree canopy is like between 30 and 50 feet. They're pretty big trees there. So, well, I mean, not big if you're used to really massive forests, but 30 to 50 foot canopy is pretty tall for a decent forest. And it's pretty much this for dozens of miles in every direction. And this is just a nice shot of what it feels like to look up at an overcast sky at the camp we were staying at. So I thought I would include it. Over on the left there, you can see some of the leaves starting to change color, and there in the middle, in the lower middle, you can see some of the leaves turning yellow, and over on the right, you can see some orange in the distance. But for the most part, everything was still green, sadly. But I say sadly, the green trees are beautiful. It's just that's what I look at all year long. So in the fall, it's kind of fun to see them all change color and get and get brightly multicolored. That's a good time.
And we need to expand it.
Yeah, and here is a better lit picture from in the morning. This is right when I first got to the camp on Friday. I took a picture going in because this is where I found some of the brightest colors of the leaf change, and this is with the morning sun coming through the fog and the clouds. The Smoky Mountains get its name because everybody that came to visit on Friday, you guys will remember the thick, heavy fog in every direction, and you could literally see rings of clouds over top of the mountains that you were driving through to come to the camp. It's really beautiful. That's why it's called the Smoky Mountains, because it literally looks like there are circles of smoke, like from a thick, rich fire, that encircle the mountains and the and hang low in the ravines around here. It's just absolutely beautiful. I love it here, and I couldn't ask to live in a better place. I've talked to a lot of people that travel the world, and they say here in East Tennessee is one of the most beautiful places on earth, and I'm really thankful to live here and get to go see this kind of thing anytime I want to leave my house. It's really nice out here. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to host at least one meetup a year, is to invite other people to come partake of this beautiful nature with me out here. And it's just lovely. It's just lovely out here. So that being said, we have come to the end of the pictures. So I'm going to go ahead and close that up and turn my camera back on here. I have sent invites out to several people. And if you are in the chat and would like to come in and talk to me about any type of patriotic or America First or white well-being meetups that you have planned and scheduled, now is the time to do so. I've been talking to Nick and other people here in America about hosting different kinds of meetups. Those of you that are of the pleb community, from Don the Pleb and the activism and the meetups that he schedules, you guys will know that I work with him and his server and the people that have surrounded him to try to expand that network of America First patriot types. Just to get used to getting together and sharing fellowship and shouldering the burden of what it is we have to go through together. Because having people that you know in person to meet up with, it's a world of difference than just having a bunch of names or faces on a screen that you only know remotely. It is a huge difference meeting up in person and organizing that way. And that's why I'm trying to get involved with that and encourage other people to do that as much as possible. Nick, I know that you're young, so it's a little harder for you without the money and the resources, but have you scheduled any type of meetups in your neck of the woods for the upcoming future?
No, I haven't. I used to do campouts recently with this group at our church. We started. It was basically like a Boy Scouts kind of thing. We called it the Troops of St. George. And I will say, if you ever have the chance to, I will recommend. There's some parts in Michigan. We went camping up in the UP up in Michigan. And we camped right alongside. I believe it was Lake Michigan, and because we had someone we knew had property up there, and we just set up camp up there, and it was really nice. So I mean, if you ever have the chance, I would highly.
And tell us the name again. What was it?
I don't know exactly where it was, but I believe it was up in the Upper Peninsula.
Okay.
In Michigan. I believe we went to a couple of the Great Lakes, but I believe we were camping. I believe it was Lake Michigan, because then we also went up to see Lake Superior as well.
Okay, cool. And Lake Superior is the big one that is to the east, nearest to Toronto and Quebec and all that. I think that's Lake Superior, isn't it? The big northerly one. God, it's been forever since I looked. Let me pull up the Great Lakes here.
But we had the opportunity to go swimming in Lake Michigan and Lake Superior. So,
oh, cool! I bet it was cold, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people like it nippy.
Indeed. Kizza, you have been, I know that you're in the UK, but you have been participating in in-person meetups like you brought up earlier. Do you want to take a minute and tell us what went into making that in-person meetup, what it felt like to do an in-person meetup, and what you gained from it now that it's happened?
Well, this was basically a quote-unquote northern meetup, as it was known as, because we did meet up in North, Manchester to be exact. Basically, it was an idea that was going around in a friend's server, John's EP server. Please go like and subscribe to his channel. He's also right now starting up his own little thing called the Wellington Project, which is a very interesting thing in terms of the UK. So anyone's Britain, please go look it up. But basically, there was like 8 of us. There was a few more planned, but they obviously couldn't make it due to time constraints or bad timing. But basically, we all met up in Manchester for the weekend, and it was great because, well, obviously, some of us knew the faces, but obviously, like myself, no one knew my face, so they were quite shocked how it was. And it was great. It was basically like there was nothing to hide behind. Everyone could just be open and honest with each other. And I definitely converted a few of them to Kizzerism, as I like to call it. They definitely liked my perception, especially Scrump. He was very much all in on this. And speaking of Scrump, I do need to hopefully get back to him about doing that video that me, him, Trigonometry, and Evelyn were all meant to do, where we shit on we take a giant dump on British Leyland, because we turned out we are all into our cars. But also the last Sargon event, I was meaning to attend. I had to miss that due to unforeseen circumstances, which was sad, but, I'd love to talk up to that. But like I said, I've been to the first 2 events. I went to his, when Dem and Dank were first running. What else is there? I have been planning to, I do want to try and attend these meetups again, but like I said, especially recently, been very busy with work, but I've been trying to, network with loads of people. So obviously, network with like Scrump, network with my friends British Knight, network with Johnny P, our friend Zen. Who else there? Trying to network with a few other people of similar like mind. Obviously, our friends Bill and Tank of The Ends Justify the Means and All Minus One. And also recently, I started my own little quote unquote stereo podcast, and I did my first episode on a very interesting.
I remember you sharing that with me. I haven't listened yet.
Oh yeah. Well, it was basically with me, Holly Midlife, and we had and also another person who I will keep anonymous. But we spoke about the power dynamics of relationships.
Oh, cool! Sounds good.
I think I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that. I haven't listened yet. Tell me, Kizza, you went to a meetup and you met people that you knew online for quite some time, and you guys got together. And, apparently, I don't know what's wrong with my computer. It keeps telling me that I'm either net dead. It must just be because I'm streaming. I don't know what's wrong, but maybe there's just internet trouble.
No, I haven't heard you lag at all yet. So,
well, here's the thing. Every web page that I try to load is telling me that I don't have network or I don't have enough bandwidth to load it.
I think it's just maybe
it might just be Twitter. I don't know.
It could be, because I know our friend Jeremy Delaney of Weekly Narrative, they have issues trying to play stuff on Twitter when they're streaming.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Normally, I have plenty of bandwidth to do everything I need to on the back end, and also Odyssey still isn't working for me. So I was supposed to be streaming on Odyssey today as well, but I'm not.
To answer Jack's question, to AA, I haven't really watched his stuff, and I don't think I have planted the seeds of the Counter Yuri Plan 2 Sargon, believe it or not, when he was streaming with Don the Pleb. And I'm not joking you, maybe it's just sheer coincidence or correlation. He ended up making his own live stream called Remoralization. Call it a coincidence, or was it causation? You decide, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm on Odyssey. It's not loading up, so I can't see anything. I can't watch anything, but it does say you're live on Odyssey.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
all right, that's good. So maybe it'll capture it then. But I can't get it to load on my end at all. It just everything's dead. It loads a basic framework of it, and I can't interact with anything.
Exactly. Yeah, according to Bass Guitarist, he has that problem, and he's got gigabyte internet. So it's definitely not internet per se. It sounds like it's something to do with the streaming software that does that. It seems to block other stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, but
I think Odyssey at least is just down because it's down for me as
Yeah,
well.
they could have been doxxed because like they could have been doxxed or DDoSed attacked, whatever you call it.
I don't know if it's that. It's just it's a new service and they're constantly working on it. So sometimes things on the back end they have to take down and put back up, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's understandable. But like that Northern meetup was great, and it was just great because like there's no facade, there's no like acting going on. Everyone's just themselves and everyone's honest with each other. And also we did have a fair bit of alcohol, which I paid a fair chunk of because I'm the Jew of the group. I mean, hell, even British Knight, he ended up being scanned from his room, so I was like, fuck it, just crash with me. I'll cover the difference. So,
Based Guitarist, if you want to come and join us, nothing is working for me at all right now. Like, I can't get into Gab. I can't get into Twitter. Apparently, it's a miracle at all. I'm even able to stream right now. So I'm just gonna put the link to join us right here in YouTube chat. So there it is.
Okay.
No, I don't care. I mean, I can still control who comes on and who doesn't just by booting people. So whatever. Anyway, if you want to hop on and talk to us, Bass Guitarist, there's the link right there in YouTube chat. And the same invite goes to anybody who wants to come on and talk to us about, the kinds of things we're talking about, in-person meetups, networking, that kind of stuff, just to celebrate community with us.
For a small plug, Yizz, I do know Scrump is doing his Minosa event. I believe it's next weekend.
Yep.
So if anyone's in the UK, I think they got a few tickets left, last I checked. I'd love to attend it, but sadly I couldn't because of work. But I know Dank's going to be there, British Knight, and Mitch is going to be there.
Oh, cool. Now, Mitch is the one that streams with BC, right? Or BK, right?
No, that's Chicago you're thinking of.
That's Chicago. Okay, who's Mitch then? Where do I know him from? Because I've heard that name come up before in the UK
Oh, he's
group.
like his own YouTube group. He's like part of like the Sargon side of YouTube. He does his own like small takes. Okay. But like I said, he's got a small channel, like 3,000 subs. Okay. I always like to drop a spicy comment in there. He was very much taken to my perception on many things, and Scrump was basically all in. Evelyn was definitely all in. Although she did argue, Evelyn did argue who should be ruling the island. I said, well, to be fair, I come up with the idea, so therefore I should be ruler. Honorable ruler. But, I mean, the others were just like, we were just all having fun and, just thinking of great memes and...
cool.
And, it was just all good fun. And
So let me ask you this then. Since you have met those people in person now...
Yes.
Do you guys have do you feel a more natural, better connection with them, and like you have I don't want to use the word spiritual, but a more mental, esoteric connection with them now that you've met in person? Because I found that's how I feel about people when I meet up and do stuff with them in person.
Oh, definitely, because like I said before, there's like no mirage, there's like no mask. I know that sounds ironic to say in today's times, but there's like no like mask. There's no like agenda or image. We were just how we were, which we were just all exactly as we were, but just in person, and it was great because like everyone could just be very chill with us. There's no like hostility. There's no anxiety. It was just all having fun, And I ultimately also played up to the idea I'm the Jew of the group because I had money. They were happily fleecing my credit card for rounds of drinks.
Well, that was mighty white of you.
Yeah, well, as a good leader, they have to lead by example.
Oh, there's somebody I just heard join in. Let's see who we got here. I think that's Bass Guitar Man. Bass Guitar Man, I'm ready to bring you live, so let's see how your audio is.
Welcome.
Okay.
Hey, you sound pretty good. How you doing?
Good. You? How are you doing?
I am sore, and my voice is still not recovered, but I am happy and positive. And
drink lots of water.
Oh, I am. It's not even Mountain Dew today. I'm just chugging tons of water this week.
I should also mention BK loves meeting me first time because I jokingly say in his Discord that I'm his quote unquote sugar daddy for how many super chats I paid into him.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you definitely financially supported this channel plenty, and we definitely thank you for that, my friend.
Yeah.
You are good about giving money to the people that you support for sure.
Well,
Bass
yeah.
guitar, a bass guitar man. Welcome to the stream. I don't believe we've ever spoken before, have we?
No, I don't think so. I've just seen you on No White Guilt. That's where I discovered you.
Oh yes,
Yeah, the
yes. I
first
meet a
episode.
lot of good folks through the white well-being community. Jason and his crew are good people.
Yes,
You're a fellow Tennessean too, ain't you?
that's correct. Yes, but I'm more west, middle.
You
Tennessee.
a Cumberland Plateau boy out there?
Not Cumberland Plateau, more west of that. So Cumberland Plateau, I guess, would be more like Cookville, Crossville type
Yeah.
area.
You live out towards Memphis or Dayton or whatever?
I live, you know where Clarksville is?
Not exactly, but I've driven across all of Tennessee many, many times going east and west. So I've driven at least close to most of Tennessee before.
I live probably the northernmost part of Tennessee, kind of on the border of Kentucky, but sort of northwest of Nashville.
Okay, northwest of Nashville. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You earlier in the chat, you said you had some things you wanted to talk about that were pertinent to the topic. So why don't you go ahead and bring that stuff up? We'll talk about that.
Well, I'll just say briefly, I was just going to say, ever since I've sort of been in this community, I've been wanting to host some kind of meetup. I've got a lot of land, and there'll probably be a lot more accommodations.
Do you
sort
now?
of where I live? I'm not quite as... I mean, I live out in the country, but I'm not like... I know what you're talking about those areas out, those camping areas out in East Tennessee, because I've stayed in cabins out there in the mountains, pretty much exactly where you're talking about. We spent a Christmas there a couple of years ago, and you're right when you say it's like going from the middle of nowhere to 15 more miles in the middle of nowhere. It wouldn't be like that here, but I can share more details by Twitter, DM, or whatever.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. And yeah, this place is really big for tourism. In the fall, when the leaves change, millions and millions of dollars worth of tourism happens out here in the middle of nowhere. That's why there's hotels and campgrounds and stuff that outside of leaf change season, they're not even staffed because nobody comes.
Yeah,
Usually between like September and January, we get a ton of people coming in just to see the mountains and come for like a winter fall getaway up here. And I shouldn't say January. I guess it sort of tapers off after Thanksgiving. But the last 3 or 4 months of the year, we get a whole bunch of tourism out here. But in-person meetups, have you ever gone to any of those or scheduled any in-person meetups for just fellowship or activism or anything like that?
No, I haven't. The only thing close to in person was I was at that MAGA Million March back on November the 14th.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, I was with the Fuentes crowd and all. I was around that. So.
Well, I listened to him talk a lot, and I walked with some of them boys. So we might have even seen each other, and not known it.
Yeah, I was actually listening to the stream on the way back home. It was about a 8 or 9 hour drive because I drove there in my car. I remember
you talking about Don the Pleb stream, the crew I was with that day?
This was No White Guilt. This was his Go
Oh,
Free
his,
stream.
okay.
And I think you came on there and you were talking about you called in or something, and you were talking about, your experience seeing Nick Fuentes and all that.
Yeah.
And I was
Alex
there.
Jones too. It was quite a treat that day. It was a lot of fun.
I was there fairly early.
I would love to have been there to meet Alex Jones. My God, I would have made him.
The way that I would describe Alex Jones in person is he is every bit as much of the lovable gorilla or the hateable crazy man that you think he is going into it. He is exactly who I thought he would be before I met him.
Oh, good.
Who is sort of an unhinged, lovable old grandpa gorilla who loves America and hates globalism. And he is exactly that in person, like he is as his character. He's a lot of fun.
Owen Schroyer was there with him.
I think I could.
Yeah, he was.
Alex Jones Kidzerism to make him an honorable zealot of Kidzerism. With some of the stuff I'll come out with, I think I convert him.
So, living out where you do, bass guitar man, do you want to try to have a meetup, or do you want to maybe drive several hours and come to my next one that I have in the spring? Would you like to come out here and meet up with me? Because you're welcome to if you like.
I could say definitely the latter. If you're gonna have one, that sounds like something I'd really be interested in. As far as hosting one myself, it's definitely something I've thought about. But I, you know, I sort of, I live here. We've kind of got a family farm here.
Cool.
I've got my own house here. My parents have their. We've got a lot of acreage here, so
Nice.
pretty common. It's pretty common if you. A lot of people around here where I grew up. Your dad was either a tobacco farmer or a logger. My dad was the latter. So I when I was in high school, I used to cut timber with my dad, and I worked at the sawmill.
Nice. That's
And
based.
yeah,
Good,
it really
good
is.
profession, cutting wood. That's
That's
some salt of the earth based stuff right there.
Hold on. So what you're saying is you know how to use a chainsaw, right?
That's correct. Well, that's what I did out in the woods.
Mhm.
I would top the trees, and then I would chop them into logs. The tree cutter would go through the woods and cut them down, and then the skidder would go down the valleys and drag them up, pick up a drag, drop them to the top of the hill, and then I would chop them up.
Cool.
So, but
when it comes to meetups and stuff, have you ever been to not like the big March thing? Excuse me. Have you ever been to smaller get-togethers where people of like mind are trying to just get together and share community and build grassroots stuff? Have you been to any meetings like that?
No, I have not, and that's why I would like to get that experience, and that's why, like, I saw you doing that. I was like, man, it's
not hard. Let me inspire you. We'll use you as a vehicle, but I'm talking to all of you guys out there, every single one of you out there. We all need to be doing this. So we'll use Bass Guitar Man here as an example. This meetup was around 20 people, and I reserved 3 different campsites at the campground. I bought food and supplies and drinks and firewood and a bunch of other stuff for everybody. All said and done, I spent about $400 for everything, and I went overboard. So these things aren't expensive. Like if you can just get together $100 or $200, almost everybody willing to get involved with this stuff is willing to throw 20 or 40 or $50 at it to make it happen. Like myself included, everybody that came gave me a little bit of money for the trouble and the food and stuff. Getting funding is not hard when you're only talking about a couple $100 and getting a bunch of people involved.
Well,
so
can I ask a question?
Money isn't really a barrier, but yeah, go ahead.
So did most of the people stay the night there, and were you camping in tents? Okay, so I didn't know if people drove in during the day and left because
we had 4 or 5 people that didn't stay the whole weekend. They lived locally and they just came by to visit, or they were on their way somewhere else on a trip and just happened to be able to swing in and visit us a little bit, since it's only about an hour off of a main interstate out here on 81, right? That goes up and down the East Coast. It's only like an hour off 81, maybe an hour and a half if you take your time. And so we had a couple people visit because of that. But the people that stayed the whole weekend, it was like 15 or 16 of us. Yeah. And people brought their own, sleeping bags and tents and stuff. And people that regularly do this stuff, they've got their supplies ready to go. But even if you want to organize a meetup, it doesn't have to be a campground. It doesn't have to be rural in the mountains camping. It can be at a more public campground where you can just come for the day. You can use the picnic tables, you can use the bathroom and shower facilities, and you can just do a one-day meetup and say, hey, everybody, we're going to start at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. on Saturday. Everybody come down. We're gonna have a Bible. See, I even got the books I took with me right here. I got my family Bible and I got my Go Free book. So, you can say, hey, we're going to have us a little Bible meeting. We're going to talk about the value of using Go Free Lexicon and white well-being. We're going to have my cousin Eddie. He's going to play the banjo. We're going to have my cousin Marissa. She's going to play the fiddle, and we're going to hoot and holler and have us some good old white people, good times in the mountains. And you can, whatever you want to do just to put together a community, find like-minded people that want to do this stuff, because everywhere I go, all the patriots I talk to, all the America First people, all the white well-being people, all of the get off my bottom land libertarian types I talk to in America, everybody wants to have community and good times together. And you just have to facilitate that and start inviting people, and people get together and have a good time. And the most important thing about this, you don't have to make it about activism and politics. I don't think you should either. The things that we need to build to get out of the darkness we're in are positive things, love for our people and our culture and our history, love for doing stuff together, getting men and women together again in fellowship and harmony who want to make good families and want to make a good future together. We have to start facilitating like-minded people doing fun stuff together, because that's what builds civilization. That's what builds the things that we all care about. And Patriotic Alternative does a lot of this over in the UK, I know. Kizza, have you ever been to any of their meetups?
I haven't myself, but like I know one of the Telegram groups I'm in. They, I'm not sure if they have intel, but I know they do share a lot of Patriotic Alternative stuff up in Scotland, because I know they a couple of weeks back they did a hike up one of the Scottish mountains. And
I saw the video of that. It was beautiful. Yeah, they took some drone footage too. It was cool.
Yeah. And let's just say the certain people were so outraged that they decided to try and host their own hike. And you could tell they were people who'd never been hiking in their life. And welcome, Hunter Cunning.
Hey, Hunter. Speaking of people who organize and get stuff together, this man is the one that helped to organize my meetup that we just had last weekend. Welcome to the stream, Hunter. How you doing today?
Doing well. Don't advertise that too loudly, otherwise I'm going to get a bunch of DMs.
Okay, well, hands off. He's mine. Nobody else can have him.
Well, just remember. Well, yeah. But yes.
But no, let's move back to what I was talking about.
Sure.
The reason why we need to be doing these is for fellowship, is for the purpose of building what we have lost. And I think everybody to the right of Mao can agree on that, right? Like whether you're a white well-being activist or whether you're a MAGA patriot or an America First, let's replace the cancer in the Republican Party type people, or you're just a get off my bottom land hillbilly like most of my kinfolk, we can all recognize that society's gone off the rails in a lot of ways that even our grandparents wouldn't recognize, sometimes even our parents. So we all need to rebuild what we've lost. And that comes from fellowship and getting together and doing fun stuff together and kindling within us that fire and that spirit of building the kind of families and communities that we want to see the world around us be about, and keeping out the folks that we don't like, keeping out the folks that have the ideas that are against all of the stuff that we care about. And that's what these meetups are all about. So, Hunter, you've been a part of the get-together that we just put together from the beginning. What, from your experience, did it enkindle the kind of things I'm talking about on your end? Did you feel that from the people getting together?
You know what's funny? If you have a community that you're a part of, just meeting people that you regularly talk to, or might not even regularly talk to, but you know that you guys share similar thoughts and feelings. It's surprisingly invigorating to meet other like-minded people in real life who share similar thoughts, because we all know that, people that you meet every day definitely, like, if you shared the actual thoughts and feelings that you had about what's going on in the world right now, they'd call you a conspiracy theorist most of the time. They'd call you crazy. They would
or one of the many other deplorable words like sexist, racist, homophobe, all this other stuff.
But when you meet people that you can just talk to, like real people, and share what you're actually thinking, there's something very freeing about that. And I think that, it's nice to have our Discord servers and our Gilded servers and our Matrix servers and whatnot, but there is definitely something very hope-inspiring about meeting like-minded people in real life. It's just, there's something different about it. It's hard to put into words. Indeed
it is. It's a beautiful thing. And I highly recommend meeting anybody, even if it's only one or two other people. For those of you that watch the Matt and Blonde show on Sunday night, they encourage their community to do in-person meetups and take pictures, and they share it on their stream. And it's exactly for the reasons I'm talking about. What Hunter just said about being around people where you can speak your mind about, maybe you're a Christian and you love God and you hate how satanic things have become lately. It's nice to be around people where you can say that openly, and you don't get immediate pushback and snide comments and shit from the people that think that you're a crazy person for saying that stuff. And it's healthy mentally to know that there's people like you that believe that stuff out there who care. And it is spiritually and mentally fulfilling to know that you can meet up with people who are like you and that kind of anti-American cancer isn't all that is out there. It's very rewarding and empowering to meet up and do stuff with like-minded folks, and we all need to start doing that because we're behind this game. We got to get on the scoreboard.
Yep.
Yep.
I will say this too. I've heard of a handful of meetups in the past of online communities, and there's just a shitload of cringe. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to swear. There's just a bunch of cringe and that sort of thing, and in doing your in real life things is cringe, blah blah blah. When it's in this situation, when we're in this spot, it goes from everybody's cringe and memeing and just full of stupid stuff to say and whatnot. You end up talking about real problems, and you end up dealing with you end up having conversations about what we can actually do in real solutions. And there's something to be said about that happening in real life versus on some kind of online forum or what have you. The conversation flows differently. The way that things are said is received differently. And even in previous situations where, you have to over-explain your point, so to speak, just to be heard and understood. It's all the minor stuff, the posture or the tone and inflection, that kind of stuff that gets lost in online conversation.
Indeed.
Sometimes,
it smoothens out those kinds of conversations significantly.
Indeed, it does.
I would also recommend, if anyone has these ideas, always keep it very simple and straight to the point.
Yeah,
because that's the best way to. That's the best way to cast a net, is to keep it as simple as possible. The more complicated you get, the more holes you have, and that's when the more fish slide out through the holes.
Hey,
and
Yizz,
this was real simple. This was just, it's just a camping trip. Go ahead, sorry.
Exactly, yeah.
I just wanted to really quickly, on the topic of hosting.
Uh-oh, I think you cut out there, Bass Guitar Man.
It
says we lost him.
The feds have got him. Oh, damn it, the feds have got him.
Well, I toggled him. Bass Guitar Man, you might. It says you've got no connection at all, and Restream doesn't have you. So we're just going to have to wait on him. So Hunter, what were you about to say?
I was just commenting on the conversations that are had. It's different than what you end up having in on online forums and stuff like that. And I've been kind of peeking at the chat as we've been talking, and I see a lot of different I don't mean to be a jerk, but for lack of a better term, excuses. Oh, it's not near me, or Tennessee is really far. It doesn't have to be in Tennessee. It doesn't have to be this specific meetup for whatever Yizz's community is. There's it's not hard to find people who are in your area who can. You guys can go to a meetup. This wasn't the first meetup I went to. The first one I went to was in Utah, and I'm in Arizona. So
Yeah, and I'll see people in the chats like High Leg Shina says that he's in Texas, but I've driven thousands of miles in this country for activism. You don't have to be like me, but there are people all over this country that are concerned about the stuff we're concerned about. America First is a really big tent movement with a lot of different people in it doing different kinds of things. It's not all just Nick Fuentes and his crew. It's people like me. It's people like Don the Pleb. It's people like Nick here. We're just Americans that want our people, our way of life, our religion, our history, what we think America should be, what the founding fathers and our ancestors wanted America to be. There's a lot of folks out there that think like us, and they're wanting to get together and make stuff happen. Welcome back, Bass Guitar Man.
You cut out the same problems you were having.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
Who knows? Maybe the whole internet's getting.
So what did you hear? I don't know what I got to.
You just started off something, so best for you to start over. And AM, I see you there. I'll bring you in just a minute. Go ahead, Bass Guitar.
Sure, I'll just make it really quick. I was on the topic of hosting a meetup. I was thinking in my local area here, there's a historic Civil War battlefield.
Oh,
and
sweet.
There's a lot of landmarks. There's an old place, which was it's called the Surrender House. It's where I guess Robert E. Lee and Ulysses S. Grant met on the steps of it to negotiate the surrender of the Confederates or whatever. And
Tennessee has a long history of trying to make peace and bring people together. Maybe that's why I'm like I am the way I am. because Tennessee was the last to leave the Union and the first to rejoin it. And now I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, that makes them the most pussy," but I get that argument too. But I do think that. Sorry about the noise. It's a 2-liter bottle. I do think that there is a long history of people in Tennessee that really care about the country and care about the people in it and want there to be peace. And I think that's exemplified by the people who used to lead us. But anyway, go on.
I think some of the best Americans came from Tennessee. I mean, Andrew Jackson and
Jackson's a big one, yeah.
Yeah, Davy Crockett and in Jackson. If you go to the old courthouse there's a little plaque outside where you can go read it, and it said this is the site where, after losing the election, Davy Crockett stood on a tree stump here and told the people of Jackson, "Y'all can go to hell. I'm going to Texas." That was his. That was his. I guess his march to the Alamo or whatever. But anyway, I was thinking the whole Civil War battlefield thing, being directly related to our heritage, would be a good thing to go take people out, and it's really scenic. It's kind of like you were talking about. It's beautiful. There's an eagle's nest there, and there's always eagles, and that kind of thing.
You can stay, of course, but we have someone else coming on, someone who was at the event. Howdy, friend.
Hello there.
You're live now, AM. Can we hear you?
Unmute yourself if you mute yourself.
Yeah, there we go. Howdy. Do you want me to say your actual name or just say AM to keep you anonymous?
AM is fine. I guess it doesn't really matter. Well,
it was lovely meeting you. Thank you for coming on to the stream today. What would you like to talk about now that you're here? Anything in particular on your mind you want to share?
Well, I just wanted to say thank you for hosting it. And just to anybody who's very hesitant to go to in-person meetups, it was actually really great. And especially when you feel like you've spoken to people enough online, it's really not like a scary thing to go meet them in person. And I brought a couple of friends who were interested but hadn't actually been online before, so I think they really enjoyed it. They had a great time.
That's good. And I even talked about getting you and the two that you brought. I got to talk to you about white well-being and the anti-whiteism in media and commercials and stuff, and just getting to see the look on your guys' faces, knowing what you had seen since you guys are all fresh out of university. I know that there's a lot of hungry young people that need to hear what I have to say and are looking to build community against all this anti-Western crap that's going on right now. So that made me feel really vindicated to get to sit in front of you guys and tell you stuff that you were ready to hear. It made me feel really good.
Right. I think it was good for all of us. And I think the in-person meetup thing is also good because, for me personally, I've been looking for a church because I recently moved back home. I'm from Tennessee. And I've been lacking the sort of in-person interaction with anybody that shares anything that I believe, basically. So it's good to have.
There's a lot of good men that need them a nice, cute little wife like you here in the mountains. And speaking of that, this woman is a lovely young girl, and she's very small. She's tiny. And for those of you out there that might be young women or just tiny women, don't believe the lies that the anti-whites that call themselves feminists or LGBT activists or whatever say. You as a little woman will never be safer than around a bunch of armed, bearded mountain men. Exactly. You will never be safer. You will never be safer.
Hey, toxic masculinity, women desire.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Like, if you come out and hang out with a bunch of, God-fearing good old boys out in the country and, they've got more guns than shoes. If you're a good woman, you ain't in no safer place because those men will spill blood and drop brass to protect you, and they will make sure that you are safe.
And I also everybody was very quick to give a lot of advice for because I'm not a firearm owner. I'm looking to become one soon, and I'm enrolling in some classes. But everybody was very nice and very helpful in giving advice about kind of what I might be interested in and what would be useful.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
No, we must have spent 4 or 5 hours at the shooting range. Man, we shot all day. I don't know how many thousand rounds we put down range, but we had a ton of guns and we had a ton of fun. It's a good old time.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you mentioned the subject of guns. I was chatting with a guy who used to be in the military, and he asked me what kind of guns would you use. So I was like, well, that depends. Do I want to protect myself? Do I want to hurt somebody, or do I want to send a message?
Well, you do all that with the same kind of thing.
Well, not quite. You see, dear. If I want to protect myself, a simple 9mm will suffice. If I really want to hurt somebody, you're talking Desert Eagle.
I see your meaning. Okay.
But if I want to send a message, well, dear, I'm gonna have to pull out the Smith & Wesson 500.
Holly, who will be on the channel in the near future, she said, I just had to comment. Can I show that? Yeah, okay, I can show it. She says, I just had to comment. I'm not tiny, but I do appreciate bearded mountain men. I married one. And just so you know, I married one too. So they're good people. Anyway, but yeah, just I encourage everybody to get involved and get active. And I kind of played up the jokey element of protecting women or whatever. But please, everyone, get involved with Patriots. Get involved with people in the white well-being community. Get involved with America First. We are not scary, dangerous people. The media lies about us. We are good-natured, kind, loving people that love what's right and put what's right first. And we will be good to you. We will be kind to you. And we want you to get involved and actively take charge of your life and build a better life. We want you to be happily married. We want you to be a part of a good community. We want you to have good kids. We want them kids to be raised outside of the filthy degeneracy they're programmed with at school and outside of the clutches of the LGBT pedos. Like, we love you and your family, and we're going to treat you right. So come meet us and network with us, and you'll be glad you did. That's basically what I was putting out there. It looks like we lost AM. Okay, there she is. She's back.
Hey, I'm gonna dip out on you guys. It's been nice to chat with y'all. I do have
sure.
Nice.
Yeah, you're welcome back anytime, bass guitar man. Just stay in touch and all that.
I will be in touch, and I'll join in. I'll probably join in again sometime.
Okay, sounds good. And hopefully we'll see you at the next meetup if you can make it.
All right. See you.
Okay, bye-bye.
I want to add something to what Yizz was talking about just a second ago. We all talk about wanting, meeting, having base friends and wanting high trust societies and how we're trying to build some kind of high trust society. I'm going to take a page out of Don the Pleb's book and say, if you want a high trust society, you might want to act like it first. And that includes, actually going to meetups, meeting people who you think are good people or might have similar interests or what have you. There's the idea everybody's a Fed or everybody's we're going to meet a bunch of retards on the internet and that kind of thing. If that's all that you go into these meetups with, that's what you're going to find. But if you actually go, intending to meet fellow patriots and can kind of get over some of the BS about, oh no, it's going to be a big old Fed meetup, 15 guys in shorts and sunglasses and, just me. And I'm sitting there with my, my illegal rifle, so to speak.
We had no one in proper Fed costume, by the way.
Absolutely not. No.
we didn't have any left-hand wristwatch, sunglasses, shorts, polo guys. We didn't have any of them.
Oh, don't worry, Yizz. Like at the meetup, everyone was loving the shirts I was wearing. They were loving the shirts I was making. Very meme-worthy.
I believe it. Just to finish my point off, and then I'll stop monologuing. If we actually want to build these kind of societies, the thing that we need most right now is to find people that we can physically rely on personally in real life.
Indeed. And we're gonna say goodbye to AM. She had a bad connection and said it's nice talking to everyone, and she's going to bid us adieu. Thank you so much for coming on here, AM. Thank you for coming to the meeting, and please spread what I told you about white well-being. Use the lexicon. Invite other people to do the same, and invite everybody to get active and involved wherever you live. So thank you again, and we'll see you soon.
Yes, I loved the fact you got my joke.
I did, and it was hilarious. It was just off color, so I didn't read it out loud.
I mean, if anyone missed the joke in the chat, I said Holly, despite her, if she wasn't married, I'd wreck her like Diana.
Dude, I just said I didn't want it said on stream. What's wrong with you?
Hey. YouTube's not going to know who Diana is. I promise you.
You need to understand tone. I know you're an engineer autist, but there's tone to a stream. This is not a shitpost stream. This is not a meme stream. This is wholesome good times. That's why I didn't want that joke aired.
Yes. A very, very popular memes-worthy channel that got millions upon millions of views made this reference.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, tone. I'm gonna tone police you.
Yes.
Anyway.
Okay, princess.
Anyway, it's a funny comment from Dollhuck. Dollhuck is a Fed that came, by the way. Anyway, as you were saying, Hunter, before the retarded interruption, please continue.
I was mostly done there, but my point is basically, we say that we want high trust societies, might want to do something to accomplish that, like meeting other people who want the same thing as you on the internet.
Yeah.
Or how about just being a well-trusting person in society? There's always that.
Well, that too, but meeting up is important.
Of what we're talking about, though.
Yeah, this stream is about the purpose and what you get out of meeting up with others, right. And it's why we should all be doing it. Like the focus of this community stream was to try to encourage everybody to do what we just did last week. It's important. I think it's healthy and good.
Nope, it was nice to meet you too. I can say the same for sure.
Yeah, the Ghostly was the only asshole, and I even liked him too.
We're all assholes in one way or another.
No, he's a good boy. He didn't do nothing.
That's right. He's a complete 100% good boy and did absolutely nothing wrong.
Nope says to kick the bong.
Yeah. Especially like what I did 5 years ago, defending our fellow favorite Scotsman.
Sort of like the meme: remove kebab, remove bong.
That needs a picture of that with Big Ben.
Oh goodness. We are coming up on the end of the stream. I don't know if anybody else is coming or not because, well, none of my websites none of my tabs are working. I can't get any website to load. The only thing I can get to work is Discord and Telegram because they have their own apps. None of my browsers are doing anything. So I don't know if there are other people wanting to come on in my PMs or not. If you're listening and wanting to come on, I've sent the link to everybody who asked already. So I guess that we're at the end. We're in the home stretch now. We're going to wrap up here in the next 10 minutes or so because I want to make lunch before Don the Pleb stream. Don is streaming here in about 20 minutes, and I want to watch it. So we're going to wrap up here in a few minutes. Big Nick, you've been here from the beginning. Is there anything you'd like to talk about today? Any questions you want to ask us about the event that happened, or anything you want to talk about in particular?
No, I just hope to see you guys soon. Maybe sometime in the future, I might be able to go to one of the meetups.
I'd love that. Yeah, that'd be great. I think you'd have had a blast because you know half the people that came last week. I think you'd have had a great time.
It was probably about 2/3 or so.
Yeah. Kizza, anything you want to talk about or bring up about the topic of the show before we get out of here today?
Not really, but like I said before, just check out all the channels I mentioned before.
Will do.
Please do give them lots of love and tell them Kizza sent you. Tell them your Supreme Emperor Kizza sent you.
And I can personally attest to British Knight and his channel. I've been on a couple of his community streams, and we did a stream together. He's a good boy who didn't do nothing, and he loves his country and his people. So British Knight's a good time. Hunter, anything in particular that you want to say before we get out of here today?
I'll just reiterate. If you're in an area that you want to see a meetup in and you don't know anyone in the area, just posting that there will be a meetup in the area and people are welcome to come. People will come from all over. I know Don drove 20 hours. I drove 30 hours. We had people who drove, 16 hours in one day, that kind of thing. I talked about earlier, a lot of times when you throw together a meetup, people will come even if it's only to stop in and say howdy on their way to do something else. Like we had 4 or 5 people do that on this trip. So it's definitely what the whole what was that silly movie, Build It and They Will Come? I don't remember what it was about. Field of Dreams.
Yeah, that's it. It was like that. If you put together a meetup and you say, hey, there's something going on. Like, this is a Patriot Meetup. There's people coming. Even if you only get 5 people to come, that's 5 people. Like, that's great. Like, not all meetups are 20 or 30 people. Sometimes it's just 4 or 5, and that's fine too. You can have a great time bonding with just a handful of people, and then maybe next time it'll be 10 or 20. And then from there, things grow and get bigger. We did have a paid chat over on Entropy, by the way. Sam Nope for $5 on Entropy says, based meetups are based. Yes, indeed, my friend. It was a very based weekend that we had. Even if you just judge by the number of rounds we put downranged, it was pretty based. So...
I want to address a comment that was in the YouTube chat real quick. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. It looks like Heiligshine or something like that.
Heiligshine, yeah.
Heiligshine. But is that method safe at Hunter Cunning? Any person could show up, even questionable ones. I know Don has been to probably half a dozen meetups at least by now. I've been to a handful myself. By nature of our community, as long as you have spoken to someone for more than 20 minutes, it's a good chance that anyone who comes to that meetup is going to be a good kind of person. And the people who aren't the good kind of people will make themselves known quite quickly. And, most people are going to be carrying there, so it's not going to be too much of an issue. But I think that much more so you'll find people are too timid to do anything in the first place. Rather than going the opposite direction of any retard being able to come.
And one of the things, Heiligshine is from the Go Free community, the white well-being community I'm part of, and one of the things we worry most about are disingenuous people, paid actors, people who will want to subvert a movement or get involved with patriots and try to make it all about hating the Jews or Nazism and shit like that. But here's the thing, people like that, they're not really interested in doing and building real things with real people like we build. So I've been to a bunch of meetups like this. I've never come across a single actor like that. I've never come across anybody who wants to come and try to subvert any meetup or a camping trip or anything I've been to. I've just never seen it happen. I think feds and troublemakers, they tend to stick to the cities and want to go to things that will get media attention, not the kind of stuff that we build. Because if one or two assholes from CNN or some kind of, antique nationalist LARPer or whatever, they don't really seem to be interested in getting involved in the kind of things that we're putting together and doing. Because mostly what I'm doing is I'm networking with married couples, most of them who have kids, who just want to make America better and make their communities safer. And that's what the whole focus of what we do is. It's to promote the well-being of our people and our culture. And there's really not any way to subvert that. Like, if feds show up and there's a paid FBI agent that comes to one of my meetups, well, that's fine. We ain't doing anything illegal. All of our guns are legal. We don't do anything illegal, and we don't talk about doing anything illegal. So it's not like one Fed coming's going to mess everything up anyway. And again, like Hunter Cunning said earlier, if you talk to somebody for even a half an hour, you get a pretty good read on them. And I don't think that we're going to have to worry about disingenuous actors or federal agents coming to a barbecue to have hot dogs with us, because that would be a waste of their time anyway. Like, they're trying to get people and that are unhinged lunatics that want to do disastrous things. That's what the feds care about. Other than that, it's just information gathering. And hell, I would live stream the whole event if they wanted me to. Like, I don't have anything to hide with what we're doing, because what we're doing is healthy and good. So hopefully that puts to bed the worries you had about that Heiligshine.
One final note on that. By nature of it requiring something from someone, they're required to drive there. They're required to provide some kind of funding. They're required to be vulnerable themselves enough to get out there. It weeds out the vast majority of any bad actors. Yeah,
definitely. But anyway, we've come to the end of the stream. We're going to wrap things up. I think that's a good positive note to end on. Thank you to the one of you. The three of you. Or I'm sorry. Nope, it's just the one of you that made the financial donations. Thank you, Sam Nope. I appreciate that. His last one today for $3 is, if you have donuts, then you might need to worry about attracting them. It was a no donut camping trip. There was not a single donut to be had. But anyway, it was a wonderful time. The purpose of this stream was to bring on people who had been to real life meetups to share their experiences with how it positively affected them, because it will positively affect you too. I plan on having more meetups like this. You should have more meetups like this, and we should all go free together, because that's what it's going to take, is thousands of Americans all over the country building what we want to see, because we are literally building from the ashes of what was. And we have to do something positive and build in real life together. And we are actually planting the seeds with these meetups of what will come next to society. Yep. And that's what this is all about. So get out there, get active, get connected, and stay positive. Speak the truth to all who have the ears to hear it and all that good stuff. So I love all of you. I will see you Monday night for Discordant Dragons. And I just hope you have a wonderful weekend. And I hope that this has inspired you to take action in your life. So thank you for being here today, everybody. And we will see you guys Monday night for Discordant Dragons. Bye-bye.